up, everyone? This is Mayor Eddie Melton of the great city of Gary, Indiana, and I want to take this moment to invite you to my second State of the City address that's going to be held at Embassies of Christ Church at 4285 Cleveland Street, right in Gary. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. You don't want to miss this opportunity. This is where I want to share my vision for the future of the city of Gary and also what we've been able to accomplish within my first year as mayor of this great city. So if you plan on coming, please reach out to City Hall 219-881-1300 to reserve your seats. And if you're online, please visit and look us up on Eventbrite. So join me in my administration at Embassies of Christ Church, 4285 Cleveland Street on April 29th. God bless.
Greetings. My name is Derek Cannon, and I'm Chief of Police for the City of Gary. I am before you today not only as a dedicated member of the community, but as a public servant to share with you the progress that we've made together in the last year, building towards a safer and more connected environment. While challenges remain, I am proud to report significant decreases in violent crime, to report a drop in non-fatal shootings of 10%, a drop in homicides of 23%, and not only with that drop, there's been a 74% clearance rate in those homicide investigations. Patrol activity has seen a remarkable growth. Over 9,800 extra patrols and privilege checks were conducted, an increase of 118% from 2023. Shots fired calls dropped by 17%, with 1,368 reported versus 1,644 in the previous year. Citations issued more than doubled, reaching 9,679, a 148% increase over the previous year. This positive trend is a testament to the collaboration between our officers, our partners, and you, our community members, especially the residents who actively report suspicious activity and provide valuable information to our department. We've also made strides in enhancing transparency and accountability within the department. This includes our body-worn camera program, enhanced training, and just elevated patrols in a proactive way, which allows us a greater oversight and also a different type of engagement with the community. Furthermore, we actively engage with community leaders and organizations to better understand the concerns of our neighborhoods and our population here in the city of Gary. This has led to the development of partnerships with several community-based initiatives designed to address the specific needs and build stronger relationships between the law enforcement community and our community here at large. In terms of traffic safety, fatal traffic accidents fell by 39% with 11 incidents versus 18 incidents in the previous year, and non-fatal traffic accidents declined by 3%, with 3,196 incidents versus 3,303 in 2023. Vehicles towed and impounded increased by 18%, with 3,081 vehicles towed compared to 2,608 in 2023. Special operations and investigations. The SWAT team conducted 55 operations leading to 72 detainees and the seizure of 37 firearms. General crimes resulted in 106 defendants charged with 506 felonies and 87 misdemeanor charges during their investigations. Narcotics Investigations Group led to 52 defendants charged with 112 felonies and 40 misdemeanor charges. We are committed to continuous improvement and remain open to feedback from all members of our community. I urge you to continue to partner with us by reporting crimes, attending community forums, and engaging in open dialogue. Together, we can create a safer, greater Gary with everyone.
This is our infant classroom, and you just can't go by without looking at the baby.
I see some cheeks that need pinching in there. We're here to talk about something that truly shapes the future of our city, and that's early childhood education.
So today is a very exciting day. We've invited Congressman Mervan and the Mayor of Gary, Honorable Eddie Melton, to come out and view our building and learn more about Early Head Start.
All the curriculum is active and excite children about problem solving and learning.
We're excited to take them through the building to see the children at work, learning lots of things.
What's up, folks? Hey, man, let me get those shoes. Give me those shoes.
Today, what we were able to witness is the greatness of Gary and the greatness of Head Start coming together.
We know that the success of our children directly influences the success of our city.
In order to create big projects and deliver for Northwest Indiana, we have to have and must have an educational workforce to be able to fill those jobs.
We're laying a foundation for stronger families, a stronger economy, and a stronger Gary, Indiana for generations to come. This isn't just about education. It's about building a stronger community. When we invest in our children, we invest in our community.
I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank Mayor Milton for coming out. It's very important that our policy decision makers are aware of what's going on and also put their efforts in places that are going to yield more and better outcomes for their community.
Those students who have that early investment or intervention have a greater outcomes to be successful.
What's up, folks? This is Mayor Melton. We are in the streets. It's about 11:30. Wanted to show you phase one of what's taking place of our streetlight program, Relight the City. So we've already started on Grant Street. If you drive down Grant Street, you're going to see brand new LED lights that have been turned on all the way from Ridge Road all the way down to Fifth Avenue. Right now, part of phase one is also Broadway. We've been waiting on the new poles to come in. So some of the new poles are on its way. We have a lot of missing poles where people from car accidents have hit them. But right now, the ones that are existing, we're changing the heads out. And what you're gonna see is our contractor that's been working with us for the last close to a year. You're gonna see them out today.
So it takes you guys pretty quick to change your head out, because these poles are old, man. Because what we've been noticing is a lot of missing ones on the ground from car accidents and stuff like that. We already hit Grant Street, some areas of Burb, so they're working their way down Broadway today. So be patient with us. By the end of this year, the entire city will have new energy efficient lights. Thanks for the Gary Common Council to partner with us. American Rescue Plan, fully funded. Peace.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Gary Board of Zoning Appeals public meeting for today, Thursday, April 10th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask for council to provide us with a roll call.
Okay, good afternoon, roll call. We have Terrell Bonds,
Present.
Florzell Hawkins, Reverend Chester Jones, Bill Cook, and David Fawcett. He's not here.
Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the March 13th, 2025 meeting. What is the board's pleasure? Having been moved and properly second, are there any questions or unreadiness? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call, Counselor.
Terrell Bonds,
Yes.
Florzell Hawkins, Reverend Chester Jones, and Mr. Bill Cook.
With a vote of 4-0, the minutes from our March 13th, 2025 meeting are approved. Next item on the agenda, we don't have any old business, so we will move on to our current public hearings. First item on the agenda is BZA 2025-11. BZA 2025-11. Petitioner seeking a special use to operate a used dealership and/or car wash at 5800-06 West 5th Avenue in Gary. Staff ready for the overview?
Yes, Mr. President.
You may proceed.
This is a special use request, which is, a special use is something that is a specific use written in the code that says this is permitted, but you need to come in front of the board and ask permission, that hence the special use. So this is a property that's zoned B31, and in that zoning code, it allows for this type of use so long as they come before the board and ask for a special use. So the comprehensive plan incorporates the future of this area as flexible commercial. So it allows for a wide variety of different uses. Mr. Garcia is the petitioner for this project. And we have worked with him over the last couple months to do the proof of publication. Everything has been reviewed and received. It is all complete. We did not receive any public input on this project prior to the incorporation of the packet and posting it online. So with all of the information included in his application and a discussion with Mr. Garcia, staff is recommending approval of this special use.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Is the petitioner or representative of the petitioner present and would like to speak at this time? Please state your name and address for the record.
Turn your mic on, sir. Turn your mic on.
Right, press the button.
How you doing? My name is Ralph Garcia. I live at 5700 West 7th Avenue. And, well, my dad had this garage over 20 years, 30 some years has passed and gone. And I wanted to open a car wash and do something. I want to use the building for that and try to keep it going. All right.
Well, thank you, Mr. Garcia, and sorry, you have our condolences regarding the passing of your father. Having heard the staff's overview, or is there any members of the public who wish to speak on behalf of BZA petition number 2025-11?
Good evening.
Please state your name.
My
and
name is
address for the record.
Alfredo Menchaca, and I live on 3132 Lincoln Place, and that's in Highland, Indiana. I was a resident of Gary all my life until 2 years ago. So I also had a business there 2 blocks away from Mr. Garcia's trying to open his place there. And I've known him for 30 years. And I used to have my business there. He used to always come and wash my customers' cars. And also next door to Zanzibar, he would wash their cars and do the detailing. And I know him to be a hard worker and an honest man, and I'm confident that he will obey all of the ordinances within the structure of the city of Gary. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak in regard to BZA 2025-11? Hearing none, seeing none, I will declare public portion closed, having heard the recommendation of staff and the narrative from the petitioner. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll second.
Having been moved and properly second, are there any questions or in readiness? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call, Counselor.
Terrell Bonds,
Yes.
Florzell Hawkins, Reverend Chester Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Bill Cook.
For the vote, the 4-0, BZA 2025-11 is approved. Next item on the agenda is BZA 2025-18, John and Dia Baster, okay, I'm sorry. Petitioner seeking a front yard, side yard setback development standards variance for stairs, walkways, and 3-season room at 8401 Lakeshore Drive, Gary, Indiana. Staff, you may move forward with the overview.
Thank you. Commissioners, or board members, you may remember this is a petitioner that was in front of us last month. It was underneath 2025-13. That petition was denied at the time, and they immediately filed for a new variance that is completely comprehensive of all of the work that is within the setbacks. So the petitioner is seeking variances for encroachments into the front and side yard setbacks. Those encroachments include stairs, a walkway, and a 3-season room. In your packet, you have a detailed explanation of exactly the dimensions of those setback encroachments and the size of those improvements, and then also some images from the petitioner regarding what those improvements look like. We have reviewed the application and believe it to be complete. Also, the public notice was complete and accurate. We did receive a letter prior to the 4th of April. I've included that in your packet as well. Today, we also received a letter. It is from Miss Sandra Finnegan. It states, "Good morning. I am writing to acknowledge the request for both John and Dee Baster at 8401 Lakeshore Drive in Gary and Paul Osmowski at 8407 Lakeshore Drive for their variances. I have seen the plans and improvements for both parties and do not object to either. If you would like to contact me, you may." We reviewed these requests up against the development standard variance criteria and believe that it does conform with everything that is stated. Therefore, we are recommending approval of this development standard variance.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Would Mr. and Mrs. Dia Baster, got it right this time, like to provide the BZA with any overview? Please step to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Okay. I'm Dia Baster.
John Baster, both at 8401 Lakeshore Drive, Gary.
As petitioners, my husband John Baster and I request a front yard and side yard setback variance for stairs, a walkway, and replaced 3-seasons room. Just for some recap on our development various standard request, our plans were provided to the City of Gary in August of 2024, and we followed processes and headed into what for us was an exciting and much worked for upgrade to our home. Our project had approvals for proceeding, but when our project was about 95% complete, we were confronted by one opposer. Despite all the consultants and all groups giving us go-aheads to our project at that point, we are here now backing up a bit and here to request variance. So I'm hoping that you will look at in your packet with me a color-coded version of our plan. This is an area that zooms in on our northeast corner of the property. It's one that looks like a aerial plan and is color-coded. I'm going to walk through that and help us clarify what's what. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Our variance request has aspects in both the 30 feet front setback line running east and west and the side yard setback line 5 feet off of the east property line. Looking first at the side yard setback line, this is the thinner portion on the right side of the diagram, shown in green, light blue, and dark blue. Okay. The total width is 18 inches wide, and the length of that line is 39 feet 9 inches. And that consists of, shown in green at the north of that plan view, 12 feet of egress stairs. These stairs are within the pre-existing footprint, but they are elevated. Shown in light blue is a 20-foot 9-inch walkway. This also is within the pre-existing footprint, but what was on the lower level, and you'll see pictures of that at some point, is now elevated. And shown in dark blue, 7 feet length added walkway portion to that connects to the existing second-story door, and we'll look at photos of that in a minute as well. All right, and then into the front yard setback, 20 feet 6 inches on the lake side consists of 12 feet 3 inches for the replaced Three Seasons room. That is shown in orange. It has a flat roof and roof deck, and includes a 19-inch overhang for a gutter system. And then there is 8 feet 3 inches of egress stairs shown in red. These are the same stairs previously listed. It's on that plan as well, just needed to list the stairs double. Same existing footprint, but elevated. That basically right there is our variance request. I do have, John and I are going to present, we need to respond and do some clarifying. A large portion of the agenda today that's in your packet, it's a lot of pages, but we had objections from that one neighbor, Paul Osmulski, so we want to address those objections.
Okay, in the paperwork, Paul says that our project is an unapproved construction.
This is incorrect. Plans had been fully provided to the city from and were approved.
Paul also states that the egresses are of a redundant nature.
This is talking about the egress from the east side of our house. There's a photo that we can look at in there together. It's number 4. And it shows, yes, the you can see the second-story brick. I'll get to that page. Yeah, she's at the right one. Yep. Photo 4. Okay. In the packet, we can see in the top brick area, maybe a bit hard to see there. This was before. The door that is to drop down from the second story. There is no egress to that door. If a person were to go out of it, they would go straight to the ground from the second story. If guests or family members are in that guest room and need an emergency exit, they would have to go into our bedroom to exit. Our bedroom door would likely be locked. I'm just looking at safety issues here, and as you can imagine, anyone in a panic, if they need to get out in a hurry, would head for the nearest common area exit door, and that is that east side door that has no safe exit at this point. All right.
Paul also states that our project completely compromises backyard privacy.
Our upper level deck is not for looking into a neighbor's yard or pool. It is for looking at Lake Michigan. There have always been windows at our house in which we can see our neighbor's backyard and our neighbor can see our backyard. This is one of the negatives we are all aware of in Miller, cramming houses into lots that are as narrow as 40 feet wide. Still, John and I are stating here again today that we look forward to landscaping again with very tall evergreens between the properties, and to put back in place privacy screens on the deck that were removed for construction. All of this in order to establish the privacy that both parties desire and to strive for an amicable arrangement.
Paul makes a comment also about architectural incongruity and the type of windows.
Yeah. Sorry about this, but it is all in the paperwork there, and we just want to respond to everything. But this seems more of a style critique and just looking for any flaw.
Paul makes mention of unauthorized expansion of the project footprint and the addition of a second floor sunroom.
Paul, in his paperwork, uses words like expansion, unauthorized, a second floor sunroom. None of these words are correct. The house has much larger windows now. I think you can see that kind of like a before and after photo in there of the viewing from the north side back toward our house. The top should be the before, and the bottom photo is current. But anyway, the house has much larger windows, so maybe it looks like a sunroom. The roof pitch, it was a 1940s house, so the pitch was quite steep. Now the pitch is less steep, and the chimney has been removed, so it does look different.
Paul also states that our project will have a substantially adverse financial impact on the value of his property and investments he has already made into his property.
Frankly, we doubt this. Teardowns on the lakefront have sold for $1 million, and lakefront property values are only going up. Also, in earlier communication to the city, Paul wrote, "I am excited to see them doing the project and the continued investment into their home and community." That's in the paperwork. All right.
Additionally, Paul says, "I believe the project was misrepresented to the building department." Do I need to put these?
Oh, yeah.
We have also some of the plans too that were submitted to the city, if I could pass these out.
Yeah. It's just a larger version of what's in your packet, but it might help with viewing. Okay, you read that again?
Okay, yep. Additionally, Paul says, "I believe that the project was misrepresented to the building department."
Okay. No, quite the opposite. Our plans and renderings show all of the improvements. For example, on sheet 2, top right corner rendering, top right corner shows the upper level walkway and its connection to the second story door. We made every intent to stay within the existing footprint of structures that were present 30 years ago. Our variances go up. There was never intent to misrepresent or sneak anything by. I'll also ask you to please make note of the paragraph at the top center of sheet 1. Sheet 1, top and center, is a statement of the scope of our work, and it's good. John and I have not responded to every item Paul argues. The list is long, but if you have questions about anything in the plans or anything about our project, I know we have, we're just glad to respond to those questions today. Paul has said quite a bit that he wants to work it out with John and me. He mentions compromise to address the situation in good faith. I have to disagree with that wording. His approach was more like capitulation than compromise. His goal was clearly to foul us up. In this vein, John and I did make efforts, even before the plans were submitted, to minimize. For example, our plans show steps with a landing option that was first drawn up, having a 3-foot by 3-foot landing midway in the stairs that would actually have been a more obtrusive structure than the simplified stairs. We've pulled the stairs to the south back from the original plan so that they actually cut into a portion of the deck rather than starting the stairs at the north end of the deck and then starting the stairs out from there. So they were pulled back. Paul advised that we could pull the stairs back further. This was a conversation with just him and me in my yard. I said no because they would then cross a casement window that opens out and it would make that window inoperable. He also advised that I could replace the stairs with a spiral staircase. I said no because we want to live in our home into our 70s and 80s, and maneuvering a spiral staircase seems unwise, probably especially for me, but unsafe. They are cumbersome for carrying things up and down and impossible for moving outdoor furniture for the season. Okay. Yep.
Back to the attention to our variance request. Our requests do not cause any safety issues. They actually improve safety on our property for safe exit from the upper level east door. Our requests do not cause any substantial financial hardship to neighbors, any disruption of light or air to any neighbors, any disruption to the community or surrounding nature. To a very large percentage, our requests are based on pre-existing footprints. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? Okay. Oh, I wasn't here. I have a question. What's with the tag team thing? I mean, you read, you answer.
A lot of stuff to go
I'm just
over.
joking. Just joking. Just joking. Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah.
We will now open up the public portion for anyone who wants to speak in regards to BZA 2025-18. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak in regards to BZA 2025-18? Please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Carolyn DeCamisa, 755 North Shelby Street in Gary. I'm up here to ask you to approve the variance. I've seen the house inside and out. Everything they've done is top-notch. It's beautiful. And I see where, I can't imagine where it would bother anybody's, in the neighborhood. It's only enhancing the neighborhood. And as was mentioned, the staircase does go down the east side of the building, but also windows. I mean, if you live with neighbors close by, that's just the way it is, I think. But anyway, it's a beautiful job. They're good people. They've done everything they could to do things the right way, so I hope you approve the variance. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak in regards to BZA 2025-18? Please step up and state your name for the record.
My name is Jim Martin, address 8307 Lakeshore Drive. I rise in support of BZA 2025-18. It's a good plan. It's using primarily the footprint from the old days. They're making a little addition, 2 changes really. I mean, other than that, it looks the same. There's 2 changes where they're adding 7 feet of the walkway that already existed to move it back a little bit, but it's also elevated. So there's gonna be a platform up there by that east door, and there will be some stairs coming down to the side. in the past, as I said at the last hearing, there were bushes that would create the privacy. The Basters have said they're going to put those bushes back in or something similar. So I don't think the privacy issue is going to be as bad. Also, I see that BZA 2025-20 is coming up next, and Paul is asking for permission to do it, basically a total remodel. And in his application, he's saying he's doing a lot of these things in reaction to what's been done next door, and it sounds like what he's going to do remedies a lot of his concerns. He's reacting to their building, and he's also doing his own building, and that's a good project too, but I think a lot of the concerns have been addressed in his own project. So the objections are kind of being answered by himself. And I really think that they've done a good job. They've not done anything to misrepresent. They've only added a little bit to the footprint as far as 7 feet down the side, so I do support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak in regards to BZA 2025-18? Please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Yes, hi. I'm Sarah Lowther, and I live at 8418 Pine Avenue, Gary, Indiana. And my location in reference to both of the properties, I know we've mentioned him, he's not up yet, but I'm kind of right in the middle. 84, he's 8407, they're 8401. And basically, I was here last month also because I was disappointed hearing allegations that they tried to misrepresent, mislead, and those types of things with regard to their plans. And these are people that would never do that, you know. So I wanted to speak in support of their petition for the variance. And hopefully there will be a look at this as far as being able to work any differences out that anybody would have with regard to it. But it has really improved the property. It's really actually improved his view because of the way that they flattened down the roof. He can see a lot more out to the lake on that west side. And they will put in a privacy, as they had mentioned, and also some taller bushes. But it does enhance the safety. That was a door to nowhere, as they'd said in their narrative. And so it was very dangerous because if someone, if they were disoriented in a fire or things like that, they would go right to that door and fall whatever, how many feet that is. So I think everything they're doing is to enhance everything for the neighborhood, and I see no reason not to approve their variance request. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak in regards to BZA 2025-18? Are there any members of the public who wish to speak?
I actually would like to speak on it.
Whether for or against.
Thank you for the time. Thank you, John and Dia.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is him. I'm Paul Osmolsky. I live at 8407 Lakeshore Drive. I am directly east of John and Dia, so I'm the one person that this project does affect. So I'm here because, again, I'm excited about them actually investing in their home and in the community. I am to be doing the same. We actually have done it since we purchased our house 12 years ago. What I really actually am opposed to is where the placement of the stairway is. And I know from a standpoint of the recommendation is that that be approved. As a homeowner, the thing that is cherished and what is valued is the view of the lakefront. And to me, that's the part that I think that stairwell is an egregious overreach from the building line, and it actually is impacting the view that I have of the lakefront from every single window that I have. So I guess from a standpoint of kind of like the detrimental impact on property value and enjoyment, this project actually does have that. I have lost the view because of the expansion of the project, and mostly because of the sky deck and how it actually encroaches on the easement and actually goes, and I actually have pictures contained there. And I think the pictures are worth 1,000 words. So to me, I'm super excited about the project. I wish there would have been an opportunity to actually comment on it before it was started. I have been trying to work to come up with a compromise before actually it was framed out. So That's something I've been working to do. To me, I think the other part is, besides actually losing the view of the lakefront, and that's why we've actually purchased lakefront value, that's actually what the value is coming from. Second one is around the loss of privacy. As part of it, that skywalk or walkway is 12 foot above the ground. There's nothing I can do now to actually get privacy in my backyard anymore. I mean, no matter, 25 foot, because you have 12 feet off the ground, and then on top of that, you're looking at something 20 foot tall to actually provide some privacy. That actually affects me because I did a backyard remodel project that was $150,000 to actually put in a pool. Well, now that's just completely open to everyone. So I think that actually is an infringement. And the other one is, I think to me, there are opportunities to actually do modifications here that would actually satisfy everyone. And that was one of the things that I talked to John and Dia about is I think there's things that we could do to compromise. And specifically with that, I actually have a couple of the compromises I think that could be made that actually make this, something that we could both actually be with. The first one was basically to move the stairwell from being outside 16 feet past the build line on the north side or the lakeshore side to actually just put it on the south side of their easement, of that walkway. That way it doesn't interfere with any of the lakefront view. It still provides the egress and the safety that they're looking for. The second one that I actually think is a good proposal would be basically, and Gia mentioned it, is putting a spiral staircase there, because then it actually could be done within the existing build line, within the 25-foot build line, wouldn't affect or detract from the view of the lakefront. The third one I think that is actually done is that door that they were talking about was a balcony. I think you could put a balcony there and not actually even need that. The other one is to basically move the stairwell instead of actually being on the east side where it blocks basically my view of the lake and the sunsets, to move it on the west side, on the other side of their porch. So I think there's a lot of different ways that there are solutions that actually would work. But to me, if you look at it from the standpoint, yes, they added a second floor deck, and I'm sure from their view, it is a great view. But from mine, basically, as my neighbor joked, he said, all we need to do is put a diving board there, they could be jumping in your pool. So I think, to me, I don't want to go through like the skywalk and everything. I'm good with that. If that's what they actually need to do, the location of the stairwell in the view, and I do actually want to provide a picture because that is really what actually is upsetting about this is, getting the variance isn't the issue, but the variance actually detracts from the value, which is the lakefront. I think, to me, that's the big thing that I still am struggling with, and I think there could be an easy compromise here that would work. Question is, from a standpoint of approval, I know we actually had a discussion. I'm still trying to figure out how that would actually be an approved variance past the build line, because what we talked about before was actually the steps then from like the patio down, but they're still actually required to have steps. So to me, that's my request of this board is let's just do something to actually pull that stairway back. There is an easy way to pull it back 5 foot. Would not interfere at all with the view. It'd be in line with the current build, but I'll actually leave it up to here. And I feel from a standpoint of like process, I'm up here after the fact trying to actually address this. And I think that's one of the things that at this point, it's like, I think momentum is on the side and I'm being penalized because of the fact that I didn't have a chance to actually, comment and get this addressed before the building process started. So I'm asking for your support in helping to rectify at least this one issue. So I'll answer any questions that you may have of me. It improved the issue, not correct it. Wait. Here, this is where. I think those are all three viable options to actually improve the situation where it'd have less impact on, our lake view and basically our ability to enjoy the lakefront.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paul. Are there any other questions from the BZA? Are there any questions from the BZA? I have a few. You can be seated. You don't have to stand up. If you want to stand up, you're more than welcome to. Number one, and this is not necessarily related, so to speak, or in my purview or jurisdiction, but I hate it because this happens often in Miller and with the lakefront. I hate it when the neighbors come in and you're at odds. So I hope you all can work this out because you have to live together, but I can't control that. There are a few things I was thinking about as I heard everybody speak. You are stating, Mr. Paul, what's your last name?
Osmolsky. Paul's fine.
Okay, Mr. Paul, thank you, sir. That the view is obstructed. If I'm standing at the back of your house and I'm looking directly north, that view is not obstructed. You can see the lake. Is that correct?
So if I'm standing on my property line looking straight out, I could see the lake in front of me. Right. I cannot see west. I can't see sunset.
It's the panoramic view that was obstructed.
Yeah.
All right.
Here was the view before the project started.
Okay, the panoramic view. I call it the panoramic view. So here's my question. You said there were evergreens there before. How tall were they?
13 feet.
So that view would have still been obstructed.
It was obstructed until the fall of 2022, and we do plan to reestablish the evergreens.
All right. Now, these are matters that I'm sure Ms. Sharp will correct me on that are not germane to our decision. Our decision has to be made on statutory information. I'm just pointing out a few things to try to get the neighbors back together. So that view was already obstructed. Correct. And it's going to be re-obstructed when they grow.
So partial, I don't want the facts to get in the way of a good story. So if you look at that picture there, we had those bushes, and John and Dia said that the bushes that we had arborvitaes that were growing into their deck, what they wanted to do, they said, because I actually planted them when I did my construction job because I worked with the neighbors. Said, hey, here's what I want to do. And he said, yeah, if you can maintain this privacy. So I spent the money to put in large bushes. John and Dia actually said, what we'd like to do is replace them with narrower bushes, but we'll actually maintain the privacy. If you look at the picture that I provided you, those are the bushes they planted between there for privacy. So, that's a couple, yeah. So that's right there is 2 years after they planted them. That's the privacy we have.
Time to get some height, but now let's make another point. Back during this stage?
Yeah.
If the basters, did I get that right?
Yep.
If the basters were in their backyard, right here, they would still be able to look into yours. Is that accurate?
Yeah, when they remove the bushes, yes.
So that kind of absolved the privacy issue. There's a wrought iron fence as you move, I guess that would be south. Towards moving south on the property, there's a wrought iron fence that separates the two.
So if it was just the patio, yes, there would be privacy, but now there's that second floor deck, there's nothing I can do to get privacy.
But the wrought iron fence, you can see right through it. There's no privacy. I'm just trying to walk through this. So if I'm at the baster's home and I'm walking, that would be south.
Yes, once they took out the bushes, yes, the privacy was lost.
But there's no bush. But were there bushes right here where the wrought iron fence is?
Yeah, they ran back, and then there was they had screens there, which is like a plastic lattice screen.
Then I'm just going to say one other thing. I'm not the smartest person on earth. I did stay at a Holiday Inn last weekend. That was a joke.
There you go.
No. According to my real estate education, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Sharp, a homeowner owns both below the ground to a degree and the air rights to a degree of their parcel. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Meaning the view that you're saying is obstructed is actually theirs by real estate law.
Correct, if it was actually beyond the build line. But that's actually beyond the build line. And that's actually what the issue is. The stairs now, which don't have a variance approval, are 16 feet past the build line.
Right. Well, I don't have any other questions. I was just trying to sort through some
Yeah.
of the narrative.
Yeah, it's
that you both
unfortunate
provided.
we're here. I mean, we did try to work on it, and actually, at the end of this, we're still gonna be friends. I mean, they're great people.
Yeah, you're gonna
And
have
this is
to.
the Miller neighborhood support. Yeah, so we wanna
Please.
actually come up with something that works for
Please.
both of us.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Paul. I don't have any more questions. Are there any more questions from the BZA? Right.
Hello, my name is Daryl Freeman. I am the owner of Matrix Construction. We do a lot of work in the city of Miller. On the other side of Paul is Sandy Finnegan. We did her 2-story addition. 5 doors down is Christy Sass. We did her 2nd-story addition. And right now I'm working on plans, one house over from Sandy Finnegan and Christy Sass to do another 2nd-story addition. We do a lot of 2nd-story additions in the city of Miller.
Are you gonna do Paul's work too, that he has?
He hasn't, I haven't seen a plan for his.
You're just one big
I'm
giant community.
slightly upset that he thought that we were trying to pull something over on you folks. We did not. Everything that we have done is actually on the set of drawings, and we have never, ever tried to do anything like that. To be honest, we make a lot of money in the city of Miller, and we are never going to compromise that by trying to pull anything over on anybody.
All right. I was getting ready. No, don't steal my thunder. Don't steal my thunder. I'm not gonna let you get away with calling annexing Miller. It is the city of Gary.
I'm sorry. I
You
apologize.
good, you
I
good.
apologize.
We were thinking the same thing.
Miller Beach of the city of Gary.
We'll go with that.
Thank you. Backing up those stairs creates more than one problem.
You know, as I asked that question, I saw what the issue would have been right here.
Exactly.
So that answers my question.
Okay. There is no possibility of putting the stairs on the south side because it would not make sense. First of all, if either the Basters or anybody they had sleeping over with their bedrooms are upstairs, if a fire did happen in the stairway, there's no way out except through a window and jump. Get on top of the new deck that we built for them and jump. They had a door to nowhere, and they had a walkway underneath. So when we looked at everything, when we first applied for the permit, the city of Gary called us and said, you have to have a stormwater management there. And we said, why? We're not changing the footprint. So if you look directly down, we didn't change the footprint at all. Not at all, not an inch did we change the footprint. To me, that's a footprint. I was unaware of the city of Gary's 4-foot height. I've never heard of it. They finally sent me it and said, this is the difference. This is why you have to get a variance, because it's 4 foot high. Didn't change the footprint. If you look down, still same footprint. And with the fact that there's already a deck past the stairs originally, because everything is the same, we didn't change the footprint for that for the building either, because that deck was already there. Do you folks have any questions for me? I'll be happy to answer any construction or structural questions you may have.
No, that will be all. Just
Okay.
maybe you're the glue to fix the neighborhood.
Thank you.
So I do have a question. Why couldn't it be moved further south?
All right, hold on. Wait. We're not gonna do the back and forth.
Okay.
You got. If you want to
Or
ask
the
the
other
questions,
option is
ask
actually to
question
have the
us.
stairs come off the south side of the door to nowhere versus out past the bill line in towards Lake Michigan. So I think there are some options that actually do work, that are less invasive.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Paul. Are there any other questions from the BZA? Hearing none, seeing none. What is the BZA's pleasure?
Mr. Chair, I'll second.
Thank you. Having been moved and properly second to approve staff's recommendation, or to accept staff recommendation of approval, roll call, council.
Mr. Terrell Bonds?
Yes.
Mr. Florzell Hawkins? Yes. Reverend Chester Jones?
Yes.
And Mr. Bill Cook?
Yes.
4-0. Okay.
With a vote of 4-0, BZA 2025-18 is approved. I do hope that you are able to work this out. It's both are beautiful homes. I'm sure. I wish I could live there. So I'd like you all to please work this out and function as neighbors. Next item on the agenda is, sir. Yes, sir. I think Mr. Cook is saying that because he lives down the street from you all. Thank you, Mr. Cook. Next item on the agenda is BZA 2025-20. Petitioner Paul and Amy Osmowski. Petitioner seeks a development standard variance to encroach into the west side yard setback, rear yard setback, and front yard setback, as well as increase the lot coverage to 48.2%. Is staff ready for the overview?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, this petition is a development standard variance for encroachments into the side yards and front yards, rear yards, in addition to increasing the lot coverage. In our land use code, we have a percentage of how much a certain lot can be covered with hard surface. So that's what this variance is a request to increase the lot coverage. We reviewed this petition with Mr. Osmowski, and he did provide detailed drawings of where the additions are going in your packet. Prior to April 4th, we had not received any input from the neighbors. However, we did receive, as I mentioned earlier, an email today from Ms. Sandra Finnegan stating that she has no objection. We did review the rest of their public certification letters and newspaper. They were complete and accurate. With all of that said, staff is recommending approval of this development standard variance based on its conformance with the development standard variance criteria.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Is the petitioner ready for the overview? Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Paul Osmowski, and 8407 Lakeshore Drive, and I am asking for variances in order to tear down the existing structure of my home and to actually build a new home. And I'll go through the variances that I'm requesting and why.
Please proceed.
Okay, so the first one, and this is homes on Lakeshore Drive, so the front and the rear are reversed. So the first one is a rear yard variance. Currently, right now, it is a 10-foot setback. What I'm asking for is a 3-foot variance, or bring it to 7-foot variance. And what that will allow me to do is to align with John and Dia's garage, so that our garages are equal, they match up. This would allow me the additional width to build in a 3-car side load garage, so give me the space to do that. And also allow our garages to align, so it actually has that architectural kind of integrity of the view of the two. They actually would be symmetrical and more aesthetic for the front street. From a standpoint of the side yard setback, what I'm requesting is the current build line is a minimum of 5 foot. I'm asking to go 2 feet into it, 3 foot. What that would allow me to do is add some additional depth to the garage so that you could park in a pickup truck or a larger SUV. The reason that's important is the placement of the NIPSCO utility pole. It allows me greater turning circumference to be able to get into the stalls. The other one is it would allow me to actually accommodate a single door garage door as well as a double garage door for the 3 cars to give me more flexibility to get cars in. The third setback is a newer addition, and what I'm requesting is actually just to kind of parallel the encroachment or my neighbor's rear yard setback. To actually, if you look at where John and Dia's sunroom come out, to actually just parallel my, on one side of the house there, setback, which allow it to actually build in for like a sunroom there, like a sitting kitchen area. And that bump out would actually allow me to actually regain some privacy in the backyard. Now that would actually cost me to actually have to relocate the pool, but I don't think I need a variance to actually do that, but move the pool that's actually in place from the west yard to the east side of the yard. And then the other one is a lot variance request, and this actually shows it here at 48.2%. It's not to exceed. Likely when we finish actually the drawings, it'll be less than 48.2%. But when we look at the covered surface of the lot, because the lot is 60 feet wide, to ask for approval to actually not to exceed 48.2% of lot coverage. So those are the requests that I'm asking for. What you do have in your packet is you actually have a picture of the proposed construction. I did actually meet with John and Dia, reviews my plans with them, with Sarah and John, as well as actually with Sandy, my neighbors that are all living there right now, to show them what I was intending to do, to get their feedback, to see if they had any concerns, they had any suggestions as I went through it. Everyone seemed to be supportive of the plan. I'm not aware of any additional ones. So with that, I'll be more than happy to answer any. Oh, and then that other one is, if you look at it, my architect provided a view of what that footprint would be relative to the block, so it fits in line with the block. And then the other comment is, if from a standpoint of like what the house kind of would eventually look like, this is kind of similar, but it's not final, but just reverse.
Were you finished, Mr. Paul?
I believe so.
Okay.
So it's, if you look at the picture that we have of the lot, it's consistent with the building that's actually exists on that block.
All right.
So, any questions?
Well, Ms. Sharp?
I just have a clarification, Mr. President. I just want to make sure that both petitioners understand that these are requests to encroach into the setbacks. They are not requests to reduce the setback. So they're project specific. The only reason why I wanted to make that clarification is because on his architect's drawing, this big yellow box, the architect had noted variance request reduction of so-and-so setback. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, ma'am. Understood. Are there any questions from the BZA? All right. Are there any, thank you, Mr. Paul. You don't have to stand. If you want to, you can. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak in regards to BZA 2025-20? Please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Jim Martin, 8307 Lakeshore Drive, Gary. I rise in support of BZA 2025-20. The several variance requests here are not unusual for the lakefront. They're especially not within a 1-block radius of these 2 houses that are in question today. I got a similar setback that he's asking for on the north side, that they've asked for on the north side. Side yard setbacks are not unusual given the circumstances. Now, he happens to have a 60-foot lot. The rest of us have 40-foot lots, which makes it even a tighter squeeze. So, yeah, I don't see anything unusual or unprecedented about the requests here. I'm glad that he's going to be invested in and part of the community, you know, presumably a permanent dwelling for him. So, yeah, I support it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak in regards to BZA 2025-20? Please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Who is he looking for?
Alrighty, I'm Sarah Lowther, and I live at 8418 Pine Avenue, Gary, Indiana. And as I stated previously, I'm kind of like, here's our two properties. This is where Paul lives, and I live right here. And he had us, I met with him to go over all the plans and everything. And afterward, I started thinking about it. I thought, the only thing I'm concerned about is drainage. So I want to know, do they have to provide you any plans for their drainage with regard to, because I'm concerned, I already get a lot of runoff from the street. And I'm worried that if all the gutters and everything are going to be pointed on the south side, that's going to run right into my property. So that's the only question I have.
Go ahead. That's not in the purview of the BZA, but
It
it
is not.
is
Okay.
in the purview of the building department as well as
Because I don't
sanitary,
object
storm
that
and
his
sewer.
asked for variance, but I just was.
Right. Storm and sewer will require that, so I'm pretty sure. Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak that don't live in the neighborhood or didn't build the houses related to BZA 2025-20? Hearing none, seeing none, I will declare public portion closed. Are there any questions from the BZA? I just want to throw in a quick quid pro quo after all of this real estate war that you all just had, because all we needed was a TV and HGTV to film it. I want to be invited over to the Peace Treaty barbecue when you all get finished. I'm just kidding. What is the pleasure of the BZA? Is there a second?
Second staff approval.
Having been moved and properly second, are there any questions or unreadiness? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call, council.
Mr. Terrell Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Flores L. Hawkins? Reverend Chester Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Bill Cook?
Yes.
With a vote to 4-0, BZA number 2025-20 and the real estate war is approved. I have really enjoyed you all today. I hope you all are able to go home and whether it's a beer or milk or your beverage of choice, have a peace treaty. Thank you. The last item on the agenda is BZA 2025-21. Amani Musla and Mega Auto Brokers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we still have an active
We are still
meeting.
in a BZA meeting.
Yeah, we're still in a meeting, so if
I
you
mean,
would
you all
like
don't
to
have
converse.
to stay, but
out-
you can go outside and talk.
Are you calling for a
Hmm?
Are you calling for a
No, we got another. Thing. Yeah, Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook.
Mr. Cook, we're
We have
still in a
another item
meeting.
on the agenda. No, we have one.
We're still in a meeting, sir.
All right.
Item number 2025-21 is a request on Fifth Avenue, again with an automotive use, requesting a dealership. The petitioner is not here because we did not receive newspaper notification. So we are suggesting that you defer this to the next meeting so that he can have proper notice in the newspaper. However, we did leave it on the agenda because the certified mailers did go out, and so their neighbors were notified, so we kept it on the agenda.
All righty. Well, I see no reason to prolong this. Having heard staff's recommendation, what is the BZA's pleasure?
Mr. President, I move that for deferral.
Is there a second? Having been moved and properly second to defer BZA 2025-21, are there, to the next scheduled BZA meeting, are there any questions or unreadiness? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call, council.
Mr. Terrell Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Florzell Hawkins? Reverend Chester Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Bill Cook?
Yes.
With a vote to 4-0, BZA 2025-21 has been deferred. Last item on the agenda is adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed hold the same. We are adjourned.
What's up, everyone? This is Mayor Eddie Melton of the great city of Gary, Indiana, and I want to take this moment to invite you to my second State of the City address that's going to be held at Embassies of Christ Church at 4285 Cleveland Street, right in Gary. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. You don't want to miss this opportunity. This is where I want to share my vision for the future of the city of Gary and also what we've been able to accomplish within my first year as mayor of this great city. So if you plan on coming, please reach out to City Hall 219-881-1300 to reserve your seats. And if you're online, please visit and look us up on Eventbrite. So join me in my administration at Embassies of Christ Church, 4285 Cleveland Street on April 29th. God bless.